Peter, a leader of the early church, sat in a Roman prison cell. Heavy chains bound his wrists and ankles. The cell was dark, damp, and silent. Guards stood watch outside the thick stone walls. He had been unjustly imprisoned by Roman authorities. His face was etched with weariness, but his eyes held resolve. He knew his final hours might be approaching. The weight of impending doom hung heavy in the air. Yet, Peter remained steadfast in his faith. He closed his eyes and began to pray silently. Meanwhile, the early church gathered in a secret location. They were undeterred by the fear of Roman persecution. Their faces were illuminated by flickering candlelight. They knelt together in fervent prayer throughout the night. Their voices rose in unison, filled with hope and desperation. They refused to accept defeat. They believed in divine intervention. One woman, Sarah, clutched her worn Bible tightly. An old man, John, led the prayer with unwavering conviction. A young boy, Mark, listened intently, his eyes wide with faith. Their collective hope formed a beacon against the darkness. It was a testament to their devotion and trust in God. They prayed for Peter's deliverance from prison. They prayed for strength to endure persecution. They prayed for God's will to be done. Back in the prison, Peter continued to pray. He remembered Jesus' words, "Ask and it will be given." He clung to the promise of God's unwavering love. The silence of the cell was broken only by his whispered prayers. Outside, the Roman guards paced back and forth. They were unaware of the power of prayer being unleashed. The church's prayer meeting continued late into the night. Their voices grew stronger, their faith more fervent. They shared stories of God's past miracles. They encouraged one another to remain steadfast. They knew that God was listening to their pleas. Peter felt a sense of peace wash over him. He knew he was not alone. God was with him. He trusted that God had a plan for his life. Even if it meant facing death, he would not waver. The church prayed that Peter would be freed. They prayed that the gospel would continue to spread. They prayed for the salvation of the Roman Empire. Their prayers echoed through the city streets. They rose to the heavens, a powerful force. Peter closed his eyes, a faint smile on his lips. He felt a warmth spread through his body. He knew that something was about to happen. The early church continued their vigil, unwavering. Their collective hope was a powerful weapon. They trusted in God's promise of deliverance. They knew that with God, all things were possible. The night deepened, but their faith grew stronger. The stage was set for a miracle to unfold. Peter waited patiently, trusting in God's timing. The church prayed on, their voices filled with hope. The power of prayer filled the atmosphere. A divine intervention was imminent. The darkness of the prison could not contain it. God was about to answer their prayers. Peter's miraculous escape was about to begin. Peter sat in the darkness, the weight of his chains a constant reminder. The early church prayed fervently, their voices a low hum in the night. Suddenly, a brilliant light filled Peter's cell, banishing the shadows. An angel of the Lord descended, radiating divine power and peace. The stone walls seemed to shimmer in the angel's radiant presence. Peter looked up, awestruck by the celestial being before him. The angel's face was serene, his eyes filled with compassion. Without a sound, the heavy chains binding Peter's wrists loosened. The metal clattered to the stone floor, the sound echoing softly. Peter stared at his freed hands, disbelief washing over him. The prison doors swung open, revealing a path bathed in light. The angel gestured towards the open doorway, urging Peter forward. Peter hesitated for a moment, still unsure if this was real. "Do not be afraid, Peter," the angel said, his voice gentle. "The Lord has heard the prayers of his people." Peter rose to his feet, his legs stiff from days of confinement. He took a tentative step towards the open door, then another. The angel walked beside him, a silent guardian and guide. They passed the sleeping Roman soldiers, their faces slack and unaware. The soldiers remained undisturbed, locked in a deep, unnatural slumber. Peter marveled at the sight, realizing the divine power at work. The air around them seemed to hum with unseen energy. They moved silently through the prison corridors, shadows dancing. Each step brought Peter closer to freedom, closer to hope. The angel's light illuminated their path, a beacon in the darkness. Peter glanced back at his cell, a symbol of his former captivity. He knew he could never forget this miraculous deliverance. They reached the outer gate, another barrier to overcome. The gate swung open as they approached, as if by an invisible hand. Peter felt a surge of gratitude, his heart overflowing with faith. He followed the angel into the cool night air, breathing deeply. The stars twinkled above, a silent witness to their escape. The prison loomed behind them, a dark silhouette against the sky. Peter looked at the angel, his eyes filled with questions. "Where do I go now?" Peter asked, his voice barely a whisper. The angel smiled, a reassuring and knowing expression. "The Lord will guide your steps," the angel replied softly. "Continue to serve him with all your heart." Peter nodded, understanding the importance of his mission. The angel began to ascend, his form growing fainter. A final burst of light illuminated the area around Peter. Then, the angel was gone, leaving Peter alone in the night. Peter stood for a moment, catching his breath and collecting his thoughts. He looked back at the prison, then turned towards the city. He knew he had to find the others, to share the good news. His heart pounded with excitement and anticipation. He began to walk, his steps filled with purpose and determination. The cool night air invigorated him, filling him with new strength. He knew that God was with him, guiding his every move. The city lights beckoned in the distance, a symbol of hope. Peter quickened his pace, eager to reunite with his friends. He whispered a prayer of thanks, his voice filled with emotion. He knew that this was just the beginning of a new chapter. His faith had been tested, and he had emerged stronger than ever. He would continue to spread the word of God, no matter the cost. His miraculous escape was a testament to God's unwavering love. He would never forget the angel or the power of prayer. He walked on, a free man, ready to face whatever lay ahead. His spirit soared with hope, faith, and renewed purpose. Peter's journey continued, guided by divine intervention. Peter stepped out of the prison, blinking in the sudden darkness of the night. The angel stood beside him, a silent, guiding presence. He looked back at the imposing prison walls, now behind him. A wave of disbelief washed over him. He was free. He raised his hands, feeling the cool night air on his skin. No longer bound by chains, he could move freely. The angel gestured, urging him forward into the city streets. Peter hesitated, then began to walk, following the angel's lead. The streets were deserted, silent under the cloak of night. Every shadow seemed to whisper of the miracle that had occurred. He thought of the church, praying fervently for his release. Their faith had moved mountains, broken chains, opened doors. He quickened his pace, eager to share the news with them. The angel led him to a familiar house, a beacon of hope. He recognized the door, the meeting place of the believers. He approached cautiously, unsure if he was dreaming. He knocked softly, a hesitant rhythm in the quiet night. Inside, the sounds of prayer continued, a low hum of devotion. A young woman, Rhoda, came to answer the door. She peered through the crack, her eyes widening in surprise. "Peter," she gasped, hardly believing her eyes. Overjoyed, she forgot to open the door, rushing back inside. She exclaimed, "Peter is at the door. He's escaped." The believers inside dismissed her words as madness. "You're out of your mind," someone scoffed, disbelieving. Rhoda insisted, her voice rising with excitement. "It's really him. I swear, it's Peter." They argued amongst themselves, disbelief clouding their judgment. "It must be his angel," someone suggested, mystified. Meanwhile, Peter continued to knock, patiently waiting. Finally, they opened the door, peering out cautiously. Their eyes widened in astonishment at the sight of Peter. A collective gasp filled the room, a mixture of shock and joy. Peter stepped inside, a triumphant smile on his face. He raised his hand, silencing their excited chatter. "It's true," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "God has sent his angel and rescued me from prison." He recounted the events of the night, the angel's arrival. The chains falling, the doors opening, the guards sleeping. He emphasized the power of their prayers, their unwavering faith. Their collective hope had manifested a divine intervention. He urged them to spread the word, to share the miracle. Peter's escape became a symbol of hope for the church. Their faith was strengthened, their resolve deepened. They knew that no earthly power could defeat God's plan. United prayer could unlock any door, break any chain. Peter remained with them briefly, sharing words of encouragement. Then, he departed to another place, to continue his mission. The church continued to grow, fueled by faith and resilience. Peter's miraculous escape was a testament to God's power. It showed the efficacy of faithful prayer. No prison could hold the spirit of God's work. The early church learned a powerful lesson that night. God is always with them, even in the darkest hours. Their faith became an unshakable foundation. Peter's story echoed through the ages. A reminder of hope, faith, and divine intervention. The power of prayer can move mountains. No obstacle is too great for God. Their faith would continue to inspire generations.